And Jeff, since you arrived first, you get to come up first. So, got a microphone here. Podium at the end of my arm here. And I can put the microphone on a stand, or you can hold it between the throat. Sure.
All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. There's a big group out there. I don't know if I should get nervous now or not. I manage the technology department here at the Earle Baum Center. I started here in 2001, actually as a volunteer. And I took some classes with one of our instructors named Denise, and actually learned Braille at that time. And I realized pretty quickly that they didn't have any technology here. They didn't have a technology department. So I kind of scrambled. My background is occupational therapy, and so it was right up my alley to get involved in assistive devices and helping people. So we scrambled and got donated computer systems and actually got the tech department started. So that was exciting. And like I said, I started in 2001. One of the things that I tell people often is, there's never a good time to lose your vision. But if you're going to lose your vision, now is a pretty exciting time, because technology has so evened the playing field for people. And it allows you to do the same things that your sighted counterparts have done, or do. When we work with somebody that has a visual impairment, we look at basically three main areas that we focus on. One of them is visual enhancements, where we're going to enhance whatever it is that they're looking at. So we're going to make the print bigger, we're going to make it brighter, we're going to do anything we can to help them with their existing vision so that they can see what they're looking at. And that might involve, a computer screen, or that might involve a cell phone screen, or, iPads and all that stuff. So that's what a visual enhancement does. Now, another method that we use is something called a screen reader. And a screen reader is where any information that is visible on a screen is going to be spoken back to you with synthetic speech. And that's something that I use every day. So anything that I type on the screen will be spoken back to me, so I get verification. If I open an email from one of you guys, it would just start reading it to me. So that's the screen reader technology. And that technology is available, again, on computers, on note takers, on iDevices. So that's another strategy that we use quite a bit here, is the screen reader. And then finally, voice recognition has been a really, really exciting technology where you can talk to the device and it's going to do what you ask it to do. And a great example of that is Siri. And a lot of you will probably know about Siri from the iDevices, and that's something that we teach quite a bit here too. So that's kind of just a brief synopsis of what we do here in the technology department, but I'm certainly open to any questions that people might have.
You have Braille keyboards, I assume?
You don't, that's a great question. People always think that, but even people that type 100 words a minute, they're not looking at the keyboard. So one of the skills that you need to develop as a visually impaired person is your keyboarding skills. So literally, you can type in the dark. The only thing you've got is a little bump on the F and the J key, and that orients you to your home row.
Hey, Jeff?
Yes.
Let me recommend that we hold questions to the end.
Okay.
All the other speakers are here.
Okay.
And that way we can do questions for everybody, and then also if you want to stay after and things as well. So,
Perfect.
But everyone's here, so who wants to go next?
Martha Bax is going to go next.
Okay, great.
And are we going to stay up here or sit back
Yeah,
down?
I'll sit back there.
Just go find the seat.
Exactly.
We need for the market.
There you go. Thanks, but we need GPS for the seats.
Yeah. Martha, we gotta.
Hello. I'm Martha Baxis, and I'm very visually impaired, getting worse, unfortunately. I have glaucoma, and it, gets on stages, evidently, from what my ophthalmologist says. You get to a point that it stays for a while, and then you go on for a while, and it stays for a while. And evidently it stops, and just short of not being able to see at all. Well, it's pretty bad right now, but I can manage with a cane and with, of course, the Earle Baum Center. I would just like to, I am one of the greatest supporters of the Earle Baum Center. And I have to say, I got that way kicking and screaming. I was one of those people when I first started looking at it and, when I was being driven by, that I thought, people kept saying, oh, you should go there, I hear it's good, oh, you should try it, I hear they do offer some wonderful things, and I thought, yeah, well, I don't know, maybe I will. Anyway, finally I got to a point, where my sister actually convinced me to call and see what they've got to offer. And the main thing I wanted to do is see if they had some sort of fitness program, because I couldn't drive to go to the gym anymore. When I came, just very hesitantly, and talked to Alia. She's the first person I met here. And of course, she's such a wonderful person, explained to me what everything was, and classes and everything. Anyway, she signed me up, and Hario, who's the person at the Resources Department.
Department of Rehabilitation.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Department of Rehabilitation. I just know it's hard. I'm talking to Hario.
Right.
Or we call her Santa Claus. I'll tell you why. She came to my house to evaluate, my living situation and how I get along, and I do get along real well at my house. So she said, okay, the first thing I want you to do is enroll in the 2 classes which start in, I believe they started in June. And one of them is a real practical class. It teaches you how to deal with a sight impairment and how to just do normal everyday things better. The other one is a coping class, kind of. It's with a psychologist who knows this subject very well, and you all sit around and you talk, and she gives you ideas of how to cope and things, momentous and little decisions you should make. I thought, and I thought particularly the psychology class, I thought, my attitude's pretty good. Everybody says, you've got a good attitude, you don't sit around and feel sorry for yourself, I should be fine. And Haria said, I'm sure it is. And it seems like it is, but let's put it this way, maybe you could help other people in the class to feel better. So, of course, appealing to that, me being better than everybody. Well, I came, and the very first day I thought, oh, this is wonderful. First of all, Denise, our wonderful Denise, is our practical class, and she just teaches everything. And she's such an inspiration. She and Jeff both. I went to see both of them, and Denise is the most amazing, inspirational person. She's totally blind. She does much more than everybody in this room combined. She does everything, and perfectly, beautifully well. She has 2 kids. She has a husband. She has a beautiful house. She takes care of all that. She works here. She teaches that class. She teaches home class in the little house. She teaches fitness, tap dancing. She's just amazing. Well, she was an inspiration, and that was great, and I loved that class. And then we come to the other class, for lack of a better word, the psychology class. And I thought, well, I'll probably be bored with this. It was 14 weeks, and it was one of the best 14 weeks I've ever spent in my life. Just to know that there are people out there that have the same problems. Just to know that there are 12 people in the class, and all 11 of them felt the way I did, that the worst day of my life was having my car taken away. Not literally, but that I gave up my keys. Because you not only give up your car, you give up your independence. You just, I'm now dependent upon friends and family to take me shopping, basically, to take me to the doctor, to take me to the cleaners, you know, little things that we think about. But you know what? There are a lot of us, and it's okay. And the best lesson that I learned in that class was to ask for help. As you can see when I said I love to be the boss, you know, all that. And it was very difficult all my life to ask for help. And Earle Baum Center taught me it's okay to ask for it. It's okay to have a cane. Even though, you know, from here to the car I don't need it, but I do need it when I walk downtown, because I'm close to downtown, very much. And to admit that to yourself, that it's okay. And the reason I learned that is with the people in my class and forming a great bond and a great camaraderie. We have such good friends we've made. We have a monthly, thanks to Alia, she organized it. We have a wonderful monthly club, a restaurant club. By the way, there are tons of clubs here that we can all go to. You know, there's a book club, which I love. There's an art class, which I love, believe it or not. You can go and learn about art, and, you know, I have real problems with pictures and stuff like that and seeing detail. It's not a problem. It works fine because of what they teach you. You have all kinds of clubs, and one that we have formed, our class, because we got very, very close, is a class that we go once a month to a different restaurant in town. And we sit and we talk about it and pig out and have a wonderful time and laugh and carry on. And we're thinking of making a blog and telling people about how, you know, kind of a mini restaurant review, but also, including in that, how good they are as far as taking care of disabled, handicapped, and vision impaired and all that. And so that's wonderful. And of course, one of the members of our class called us, and it's a wonderful title, We Are the Blind Tastings. So that's us. So we're very, very, very busy with that. And anyway, I am such a supporter of Earle Baum. For the last, I don't know, 6 to 8 months, every time I see somebody that is thinking of giving some money and donating and years coming, the first thing I say is, give to the Earle Baum, they need you. Give to the Earle Baum, it's so wonderful. You know, it's just, I'm such a champion. They are such wonderful people here and so much fun. And you really learn if you're not alone, you can take care of things, you get coping skills, little things that Denise showed me, you know. It's wonderful. So I thank you very much, and I really thank you.
Do you want to hold the microphone, or do you want the microphone in the stand?
Well, thanks to Martha, I really don't have to say anything. She said it all for me. Thank you, Martha.
Thank you, Denise.
So I'm Denise Bansel. I'm an instructor here. I am a vision rehabilitation therapist, which basically means that I'm in charge of the independent living skills here. And so we have a house here on campus, which is where I am most of the time, because I teach the adaptive skills for safe cooking. I always tell everybody they have to leave with all 10 fingers that they came in with, and that there's no blood on my watch. So we always talk about safe cutting and how to tell when things are done and how measuring skills and all of those kinds of things so people can cook again for themselves. We talk, of course, about laundry skills and how to match your clothes and different means of labeling. Labeling is a real important thing. Lots of our clients take various medications, and so we want to make sure that they know what they're taking and so on. So labeling the medication. Also things like cat food and tuna, they come in the same kind of can. So I don't want anyone to have cat food sandwiches. So we do a lot of labeling, we do a lot of cooking, we do a lot of laundry skills. Also, interestingly enough, the American government, as hip as it is on disability laws, all the money looks the same, all the money feels the same. So we teach adaptive skills for folding the paper money in different ways so that people can then recognize it. Also now with the advent of great technology, for those clients who have iPhones, they can have an app for money identifying and or a special little device called the iBill that will identify money. So we help people realize their potentials, because oftentimes when you lose sight, any degree of sight, it's thought of about 70% of perception is related to sight. So when you lose any degree of sight, it's a really big deal, and a lot of people find themselves at a loss, and some are find themselves with depression. And so once they come out to the Earle Baum Center and they realize, yes, they can cook, yes, they can do their laundry, yes, they can manage their own finances, which is so important because finances are a pretty particular personal thing, and to give that up to somebody else. Although there are a couple of clients that will say, don't tell my wife, I finally got her to take over the finances. So there are people who use it to their advantage. But anyhow, mostly we want them all to know that they can do everything in their homes for themselves. Aside from the living skills aspect, which we house in the house to simulate people's houses, I teach that individually as well as in a small group. But before we get to that aspect, most people are here in this room and they're taking my Introduction to Vision Loss class, which is the one Martha started out in. And it's a group class, and every week is a different topic. So it's kind of like taking a new class each time they come. And so we give them information on the various things that will help people with vision loss. So we show them all kinds of different types of canes and all kinds of different types of glare blocker sunglasses and all kinds of different types of ways to safely get around, and how they can teach their family and friends human guides so that when they're walking around holding a person's arm, that everybody's traveling safely. So a big part of what we do out here is orientation and mobility, and so we have instructors that teach that very thing, how to get around the community, how to use public transportation, help people get signed up with the paratransit and so on. So aside from orientation and mobility and the intro to vision loss classes and the independent living skills classes in the house, I have also been responsible for our fitness program that we have out here. We run an exercise class twice a week, and Tuesdays and Thursday mornings. And then today, if you all want to come back, this room will be transformed into our tap dance room. You just bring on your tap shoes, and we all have a good time in here. It's a great auditory way of doing exercise, because once you learn the vocabulary of the steps, you also start to recognize if you are doing it correctly by the sounds that we make. And then I just led a big fitness challenge program for the last 10 months through another organization, the United States Association of Blind Athletes, sponsored a nationwide fitness program. So that is what I do in a nutshell. I also teach the Braille classes. So many people come to learn Braille, even though there are alternatives to Braille with the advent of great technology. But many people enjoy reading themselves or learning Braille just for labeling techniques. So that is me, and I don't think Caesar has much to say today, so I will pass it on to Alia and hope for your questions.
Alia Warren, and I started here as a client, receiving all of the services that you've already heard about. And my life was affected in a way that I felt like I needed to give back. So I came back as a volunteer, and then from there found that I actually had an important role to play at the Earle Baum Center, and that role is that when people, Martha was talking about how hard it is to ask for help when you're going through sight loss. When people are on the fence, do I need to ask for help now? Should I wait a little bit later? Or they're at that place where they just, each day is facing their inability, their loss. They call, and then they're referred to myself. And my job, I see it at twofold. I describe what we're able to do, but really what I'm able to do is say, okay, acknowledge your loss. I'm going to acknowledge your loss is one of the biggest things you'll ever face in your life. In fact, it may be the biggest thing that you ever face in your life as a visually impaired person, but also acknowledge the strength inside of you that's going to be able to deal with that loss. Not only deal with it, but overcome the loss. So that's what I do here on a daily basis. I talk to people about what we can do and also what you can do for yourself as somebody that's going through sight loss, which is, I'm the luckiest person on earth coming to work because I always see myself in other people, and I don't think that I could have asked for a better job. So that's one of the jobs that I have at the Earle Baum Center. I also help run our low vision clinic. Our low vision clinic is an opportunity for folks that are losing their sight to gain access to all the little visual aids, the little magnification devices, sunglasses, lighting, to help maximize their current vision. So I describe services, I also describe the low vision clinic, and I get people started with everything. I think that's everything in a nutshell that I do, yeah? I think that's it. But I'm more than happy to answer questions. I think I'm going to hand over the microphone, yeah? Okay.
And you do so much more than that, Alia.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know President Ken needs a couple of minutes at the end, so let me suggest this for questions and answers. We'll have, Ken, we'll give you a couple of minutes to wrap up the meeting. And then I know our speakers want to grab some of Larry's wonderful breakfast next door in room 4. And so maybe we'll go in there, you guys can grab some breakfast. Ollie and Denise, Jeff, and I think Martha already went out to grab something. And then if people want to ask questions, you can go over there. And then in just a few minutes, for those that can remain, I know many of you need to get to your meetings, we'll give a little tour around the area, show you a little bit more about the facility, and give you an opportunity to ask additional questions. So if you have questions for the speakers, go next door while they grab their breakfast. We can ask questions of the speakers. But I'd like to thank Ollie and Denise and Jeff and Alan and Martha for their time and their perspective and helping describe what we do here at the Earle Baum Center. Thanks, Dan.
I want to thank Alan, Dan, Martha, Denise, and Alia for
Jeff.
participating. So, we're at the point where I have to thank Pam for the door prize, which we'll give away next week. We have no raffle tickets today. And Louis has a Chuck Tillery joke.
Sure.
Uh-oh, trouble.
Should I stand?
Yes.
All right. Okay, guy goes over to his friend's house, rings the bell, and his wife opens it up, Nora's there, and he says, "Hi, it's Tony home." "No, he went to the store," Nora replied. "Well, you mind if I wait?" He says, "No, come on in." So he sits at the table, and he says, "You know, Nora, you have the most beautiful breasts I've ever seen." Now remember, for those people on here, Chuck Tillery jokes are off color, off. Right? You have the most beautiful breasts I've ever seen. You know what? I'll give you $100 if you show me one of them.
Oh my God.
So Nora's taken aback by this, and she She thinks about it, $100 is $100. So sure, she opens a robe and shows him a breast. And this is then,
Sounds like she's at 75.
that's
very visual, Lou.
And then he says, you know what? You really have the greatest breasts I've ever seen. I'll tell you what, I'll pay you another 100 if you show me both at the same time. So she opens up her robe and lets him take a long look and puts the $100 down, $200 sitting on the table. He says, you know what? I can't wait any longer. I gotta go. So he leaves. So Chris shows back up, comes in, and Nora says, you know, your weird friend, Tony, came by. And Chris said, oh, did he give me the $200 he owes me?
It's a new robe, it's close.
You like that one. Gus really likes it.
Yes, Julia.
I'm circulating a card for Marty, so maybe, okay, I'll catch you later.
Is everybody not signed it? We didn't do sunshine. Can anyone give us an update on Gail? Does anyone know that she went in the hospital this last week?
No. Yeah, she's fine. Gail had some adjustments in her meds and ended up in the hospital on Sunday. And she got out, I think yesterday. She's fine. She came in the office. She's back working full-time at the foundation, and she's, oh, I'm fine. But she couldn't come this morning because she had to take Bob to the doctor and she couldn't coordinate timing.
President Kemp,
Yes.
I just, the word from Marty, he really appreciates, I think we had about 6 people show up Saturday morning to get his house decorated and things spread out for him, and he really, really appreciates that.
I mean,
Thank you. No, we did it already this week.
oh.
It's done, but
Was I useful?
he'd love to have you come over this week. He's lonely, he needs some wine, he's drinking alone. He'll if he has to, but he needs to do it.
You'd rather do it with somebody.
Marty says thanks.
Any other announcements? Any other things we should know? No? Oh, how about Joe?
Come on. Ready?
Yeah.
Happy trails to you. Just till we meet again. Happy trails to you. Be smiling until then. Happy trails to you. Till we meet again.
Oklahoma, where the wind that sets him off, huh?